Cody Rhodes is back. Hey guys, welcome to the 716 Sports Entertainment Podcast, where today we are going to break down Friday Night SmackDown. This is episode number 48 of our weekly WWE shows. We are rapidly approaching our 50th episode extravaganza, which will be coming to you guys probably next weekend. So with that, I'm Mike with the 716 Sports Entertainment, joined by Mr. Sean O'Neill. And Sean, our champion, is back. So the main event saw Drew McIntyre defeating Randy Orton via pinfall with a Claymore kick. It was a good match. I'm a little sad Randy Orton's never going to get to do his punt. I really would very much like that. I hope before he retires, he actually gets one of those in. But after the match, after McIntyre won, he went to do the same thing that he did to Cody, where he tried to put put Orton through the table with a Claymore kick when our champion reappeared and beat him down a little bit, hit him with a Cody cutter. He went outside the ring and declared a championship match, which will likely be the main event of Wrestlepalooza, coming to you for $40 next weekend on the ESPN Plus app. So how are we feeling?
So I it feels like Randy Orton hasn't really won in a while. Um
Yeah.
I think the last time he won was what, back at in June or July, right? But I mean he did take some time off. The match itself, like you said, was very good, other than that weird spot where the ref got in his way when he was gonna punt Drew. I don't quite understand what that was all about. And it did directly lead to Drew winning. Um, Obviously, we knew that Cody and Drew was going to be a thing with the way that it went down and the way Cody was taken out, which I'm presuming he was missing all this time due to the surprise baby that was brought into the world to save the planet. But
He's Street Fighter too, right?
uh, I don't know that they've started filming yet. Like I thought that was supposed to start filming in October, which is weird though for him to miss time and then miss time again. But I guess we'll have to see. Maybe he won't have to miss that much time. But so he came back, obviously set up his challenge to Drew McIntyre. Very curious to see if Drew and Cody for the belt is the main event or if Brock Cena is the main event on our Cena retirement tour continuation, because I feel like that very well could also be the main event.
I just don't know. Like, I don't know what's going to happen in that Brock Cena match. And we'll talk about Brock in a minute because he did open the show. But is it just going to be one match and then is it just going to be over?
I don't think so. I think it's going to be two.
Then Brock has to win the first one, right?
I can't imagine that they brought Brock back to wrestle one match and lose.
Yeah.
I feel like Cena's going to lose to him in the first match. I don't know if it's going to be dominant. I mean, it might be, but I think Cena loses and then he wins the rematch.
Mm. Yeah, you're probably right. Do you think McIntyre's going to beat Cody?
I mean, Cody just won the belt at SummerSlam. So
Yeah.
normally,
Not even a month ago. Barely
more,
not even 3 weeks ago, right?
normally I would lean no, but given all of his extracurricular activities, I mean, maybe he drops it for 2 months, wins it back at like Survivor Series or at Perth. Or no, Perth is in October, right?
It's next month, I think. Yeah, I think
So
that's the
that would
next
only be a
show.
month. If they have him drop it to Drew, I do not want Drew to have a 1 month reign. I would be fine with Drew holding it until Survivor Series because that gives Cody all the time he needs to do what he needs to film Street Fighter and all that. But I don't want Drew to just be a placeholder champion again. And I feel like 2 months is at least, it's not great, but it's better than a flash in the pan Naomi style title reign.
It's true. I mean, so we've talked about this at length on this podcast, and I kind of want to get into it a little bit. Is Cody's title, although we've said that Seth's title has been way more interesting and the feuds around it have been way more interesting, we've said that Cody's title is the main title, right? Like, and we all agree. that the WWE Championship it's the title. Like it's the main title of the show. It was Roman's title. Like that's the main title. So are we really ready to put that title on Drew McIntyre?
So the reason why Cody's title is the main title is because it's on the more marketable star at the moment. I mean, if Seth's title were on Punk, I would argue that that title is a better contender with Cody's title for being a main title. You know what I mean? I feel like based on who is holding the title, elevates it. And as
I don't
much as
even
I love,
go ahead.
as much as I love Drew McIntyre and think that he deserves the run that he never got because of COVID, I don't know that he is that marketable. You know what I mean? I don't know if pairing him with Logan Paul was maybe a test run to see how he got across with like the more casual fans
Mhm,
because people know who Logan Paul is. You know what I mean?
mhm, mhm.
I just, it's a real tough question you ask. Like, I think Drew deserves it, but do I think this is the right time? I would say no, other than the fact when other time will there be for Drew?
I like Drew a lot. He's one of my favorites in the WWE right now. But with that said, I don't see him as a top guy. And I think that a lot of the way WWE markets things, especially with that title, is that title's only going to be on top guys.
Yeah.
They just with the way they do business now with TKO and the way they present themselves, with I do want to get into your thoughts on the Saudi Arabia thing in a little bit. Um, but I just feel like I don't think that I don't think that Cody's going to lose. I don't think that Cody's
I
going to lose for a while.
I'm leaning towards Cody retaining, but like I said, with all the extra stuff that Cody has been doing, I mean, I wouldn't say that it doesn't make sense for him not to drop it, but overall storyline wise, I think it would be dumb for him to drop it.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. So the main segment opened with Brock Lesnar coming out, and before he was able to get much out, R-Truth came out, and they kind of had a little bit of a back and forth, and R-Truth tried some comedy bit with pretending that he was John Cena's younger brother, and it was, frankly, in my opinion, awful. And we had a little bit of a moment with R-Truth when he tried to be a serious a serious Ron Killings, and I don't understand what they were trying to do here. I mean, Brock just destroyed him and ripped his pants, which was funny. But like this segment went on for like 20 minutes and they repeated like the same lines multiple times and I was like, what is happening here? Like you're wasting a Brock Lesnar appearance on this. Like what are we doing here? So I don't know.
So
How did you feel about it?
this was a victim of Cena working limited dates, and they needed to be able to fill time with Brock with Cena not there. And honestly, who else do you really bring out that isn't in the middle of something who is sort of associated with Cena? And I would have been fine with this segment because we've had segments with Brock and Truth in the past where Truth has actually made Brock break character because of how goofy he is. But this segment went on for about 15 minutes too long. This needed to be at most 6 to 7 minutes. Brock
Mm.
comes out, starts talking. Truth interrupts him. Brock says, "Who the hell are you?" Immediately F5s him. Like it did not need to go as well. I'm Ron Cena. I'm his younger brother, and Brock asked him 4 times, "Well, who the hell are you?" Because I'm pretty sure Brock forgot his lines at one point because of how long the stupid segment went on for.
Yeah, it certainly.
And for as funny as it was, Brock basically mooning the crowd afterwards and laughing at everybody because he ripped his pants for murdering R-Truth. Um, it I feel like we almost, like I said, we would have been better served here with just honestly the other way around. Truth being out there talking about Cena and Brock coming out being who the hell are you and then murdering Truth.
Yeah, that might have worked better if the roles were reversed. You're probably right, but I just thought that this was lazy, and I just didn't care for it. I really didn't.
Like I said, it's the victim of Cena's working only having a set amount of dates left. If Cena were willing to work a few more dates and actually be there, and last week weren't his last time on SmackDown, it would be a different story.
Yeah, I mean, Cena's going to be on Raw. You could have just waited to do this for Raw.
I mean, maybe they advertised Lesnar for this show and they didn't want to get called out for not
Yeah,
having him there.
yeah, I suppose. Well, this ended up opening up our first match of the show. I'd like to talk about the women's matches, but I'll let you talk about the United States Championship match because I know you have a lot to say about your best favorite wrestler, Sami Zayn.
So over the last, I think, what, month and a half now, I think I've made my opinion of Sami Zayn pretty plain for all of our viewers. That being said, I think the U.S. Open Challenge is the right way to use Sami Zayn. I think that it allows them to showcase other wrestlers and showcase what Zayn can do in the ring when he's not portraying the underdog all the time. Like, because Sami Zayn is a really good wrestler, and honestly, I still do think that this is them auditioning him to potentially win the Rumble. As much as we all would hate that idea, but with everything he's done for the bloodline and everything over the last several years, I have no doubt WWE would be willing to at least give him the run similar to how Jay got. That being said, this particular open challenge of Ray Phoenix answering it, I don't hate it, especially with the news coming out today about Ray Phoenix's tag team partner, Andrade, no longer being with the company, which we can talk
Yeah.
about in a moment. We knew going into this match that Phoenix wasn't winning. And I wouldn't say that it hurts Phoenix's character as much as like T would if he were on here, because I know T would be all about, oh, why have Phoenix here? This is a terrible idea. It at least gets Ray on the show and gives him a strong showing with it because it was a really good match. I mean, these two guys put on a clinic. But I think that it would have been better used for somebody else and finding room for Phoenix elsewhere. But I think WWE may have been booked into a corner here by whatever happened with Andrade.
Perhaps. I mean, you have so many other wrestlers you could have put in this spot, but I guess it's nice to give Phoenix the opportunity. And I, oh, excuse me. I agree. I mean, this was a great match. I mean, Ray Phoenix is an excellent wrestler. And, for all the crap that we give Sami Zayn, he's also a good wrestler. So, I mean, it was fine. I guess I don't know. I just don't know what we're going to do with Ray Phoenix now. Like, I mean, you're going to just have to pair him up with his brother. I think, we have to get to that sooner rather than later. But the tag team division in WWE is just not the best on Monday Night Raw right now. And I mean, I suppose you could bring Penta to SmackDown, but then you're just completely loading up the SmackDown tag team division, which
Yeah.
kind of go either way. We did see some backstage vignettes, and it sounds like the Wyatt Six and the Street Profits are still kind of feuding. So I don't know if like they're ready to move them on to other things yet, but I don't know.
Speaking of the Wyatt Six, it's also kind of interesting that they showed up at the Worlds Collide show. That's not something that I would have expected. They showed up and attacked the AAA tag team champions.
Hmm. Yeah, maybe they'll do some kind of match there, I would imagine. But yeah, the match was fine. Sammy won with a haluva kick. And, to your point, at least they are doing something with the men's United States Championship, which leads me to the women's United States Championship. And forgive me, but I'm going to go on a bit of a rant here because this is bullcrap, complete bullcrap, the way they are handling Julia. We've said this on numerous occasions, but the two women behind me get handled fantastically. One's not here right now, but she's been getting handled very well. And the other one came in the same time Julia did, and she just got put to the top of the card. And what is the difference? This one on the left of me, Stephanie, is wrestling women at the top of the card. Julia is feuding with BFAB and Michin. Jobbers. Jobbers. And they're getting the better of her. They're getting the better of her. She's supposed to be one of the best wrestlers in the world, and WWE is fumbling her horribly. It's embarrassing. Like, I honestly, I want her to leave. I want her to leave and go to AEW. I really do. I think it's an embarrassment the way they're handling her. I really do. I'd be so embarrassed if I was her.
So I have a counter to your soapbox here. I do agree that the way they're handling her is terrible, but I don't think it's on Julia, and I think it comes to the quality of the women on the SmackDown roster. Because outside of Alexa Bliss and Charlotte, who aren't in your main, because even in um, your main event scene for the women's title, which we'll talk about later on.
We'll talk about that in a minute. Yeah.
But my point is that the women's SmackDown roster doesn't hold a candle to the women's Raw roster. And I think, and honestly, with Charlotte and Alexa tied up in the tag team stuff, I think that that leaves the problem being that Julia doesn't have anybody to feud with outside of the bottom of the barrel and maybe Chelsea Green and her crew. Like,
Well, they're busy with Charlotte right now.
right. So unless WWE is going to call up like Jordan Grace and a couple of the women, I think in order to help Julia, she needs to be on Raw. Like that's the biggest problem, and that's the only counter I'll have to you because I don't want to see her go to AEW because she'll just get lost in the shuffle there. I think, but I think that if they move Julia to Raw, she is just as successful as Stephanie McCur.
Perhaps. Maybe you're right, but I was so high on Julia like when she first debuted, and I remember. I'm sure you guys who've listened to us for a while now have remembered how much I like just praised Julia. She was like
Yep,
one of my absolute favorites, and I'm so disappointed in the way that they're handling her.
like
Um,
they
but
can legit keep her same character and just move it to Raw, and it works way better.
yeah, she needs to be feuding with better people, I
Yep,
think. And speaking of the top of the card in the women's division, let's talk about the WWE Women's Championship because this is another thing that the way they're handling is absolutely abysmal. So, the never-ending feud of Tiffany, Jade, and Nia Jax. Let's talk about that. So, Tiffany and Jade had an okay match. I mean, one of Jade's better matches,
yeah,
surprisingly. Ended in a double countout, and then post-match, Nia Jax just beat the crap out of both of them and hit. He did the what was her move called? The Nia Jax. I'm gonna
the
drop
Annihilator or something like that.
my ass on you bomb thing.
The my whole bomb.
Yeah, the Yokozuna bomb. Just dreadful, just like absolutely dreadful, and it's just a never-ending feud with Tiffany and Nia, just never ending. How many times are Tiffany and Nia gonna wrestle? I don't care. I don't want to see it anymore. I don't want to see Tiffany and Jade anymore. I don't want to see Jade and Nia anymore. I don't want to see any of it. I think you're right. Like, I think they need more, more and or different women
Yep.
on SmackDown. They really do. And I think Tiffany just keeps the title by default because she's the only like star. I mean, you're not going to put it on Julia the way you're booking her, although frankly, I think Julia would be better than all of them. But like, you're right. All of your stars are on Raw.
Yep.
Becky,
The
Bailey, Lyra, Naomi was there, Bianca is there, Liv is there, Rhea is there, Io and the Kabuki Warriors are there. Like
the
all of your
Judgment Day.
stars are on Raw. The Judgment Day. All of your stars are on Raw.
The main event is the same problem, like I said, as the women's US title. It is a product of there not being a good spread of the women's roster. I don't, part of me feels like a draft is the solution to this. And you like get some of these top stars over to SmackDown. Because, like you said, how many times do we need to see the same feud? I mean, the only win out of this particular match was A, like you said, this was probably Jade's best match, and B, it wasn't actually ended by Nia Jax interfering. That happened afterwards, like for the first time. But we've seen literally in the last year, probably 10 months have been involving these three same women.
Well, other than the main event of the men, like Cody, Randy, Drew, Cena and Brock obviously is different, but like, you know, Cody, Randy, and Drew, basically, SmackDown is almost unwatchable.
Yeah.
SmackDown's not a good show at
No,
all.
I don't watch it live anymore. I record it and I usually will watch it on fast forward on Saturday morning before we do our review.
Yeah. SmackDown's not a good show. It's really not. It's
It's
it's it's really the quality is just it's been very poor. The storytelling is very poor. And it just seems like because of the Netflix thing, everything is on Raw right
yep.
now.
Like the other thing too, speaking of this stuff, is like you have stars. Where are they? Where's Jacob Fatu?
Yeah.
Where were the MFTs this week? Where was
I mean
Solo?
they had a big net, but like whatever.
Right, like you have a roster, but you're not using it. Like, I'm sorry. I get the Wyatts had a vignette, but they're your tag champs. Why are they not doing something?
Well, and SmackDown's tag team division is so good. Like, why don't you have every week there should be a match?
A tag match. Yep.
Like, explain to me why you couldn't do, I don't know, DIY versus Pretty Deadly, DIY versus Fraxium.
Because the one dude from Pretty Deadly still hurt, I think.
Then why couldn't you do DIY versus Fraxium?
Right. Or
Like,
yeah,
or DIY versus the MFTs, or Fraxium versus the MFTs, like, or the Street Profits versus the MFTs, or the Wyatts versus like
right.
anybody. Like why couldn't you do any of those matches? For what reason can't we get those matches? I don't understand.
It just seems like I don't know if it's a case of what you said that Netflix wants everything for themselves, but Raw is just such a better booked show overall. And
Oh,
I mean, yeah,
God,
we'll get
miles
we'll get
better.
good wrestling matches out of like the Sami Zayn Open Challenge, but out of between that and like you said, the main event, like that's about all that's worth watching on SmackDown.
Yeah, I remember like before the Netflix, even after the Netflix thing slightly, like leading up to WrestleMania and then leading up to SummerSlam, like SmackDown was watchable. But man, these last few weeks, SmackDown is just rinse and repeat, and it is just not interesting. And
Yep.
I don't know where we go from here to make things better. And WWE needs to really figure out what they need to do here to gain some goodwill back with the fans, because like this ESPN Plus thing, the fact that it costs $40 is disgusting. And another thing, and I wanted to get into this with you, because it's a relatively short show. I want to talk about the news behind me that WrestleMania 43 is going to be in Saudi Arabia. And as you can tell by the faces of the people behind me, the roster doesn't seem like they're none too pleased with that.
Is that an actual picture from it?
Yeah.
So there is one positive. At least it's not Vegas.
Well, and the
The
other
Sa-
positive, WWE is going to make $100 million.
and the Saudi fans will be a good crowd because as much as I am not a big fan of them doing these Saudi shows, the Saudi fans are usually pretty crazy there. And I we knew this was coming. I mean, with them doing the Royal Rumble there this year, this was what did Thanos always say that he was inevitable? This was inevitable that we were going to be getting women in burqas wrestling for the women's championship. Like I'm sorry, but Vegas is stupid expensive for WWE. ESPN is stupid expensive for WWE. outside of these Saudi princes buying out WrestleMania, who's going to be able to afford to go to these things?
Well, we were talking about the ticket prices offline here, and these front row seats for WrestleMania this year in Vegas are upwards of $35,000. Like who can afford that?
That's almost as much money as I make in a year.
Like are we just is WWE now just for the ultra rich? Like what are we doing here? It's like it's it's so bad. Like how
Does
much they
WWE not look at the fans in the audience and see what they are?
like how little they just care about their fans now. And like I don't want to go back to the days of Vince McMahon when the product was bad for a long, long time. But I'll tell you the one thing about the product for years and years and years and years and years, it's affordable. And maybe it's a sign of the times and stuff like that because everything is expensive now. But
Here's a
it's
question for
not
you.
it's not right. It's not right.
Is this a byproduct of TKO?
Oh yeah. They're gonna get $100 million from this.
I mean,
Why wouldn't they do this? Like I don't think like it's the same reason they're doing Vegas again. It's the money. It's the show last year. I mean, the show aside, the fans last year
we're
were
terrible.
awful. That was one of the worst WrestleManias ever. It didn't help the main event sucked too.
Yeah.
Like the Cody Cena match sucked. It was terrible.
Prior to that, though, the show itself wasn't bad.
The
Like,
crowd, the crowd didn't give a crap though. The
but the
Philadelphia
crowd
crowd
ruined it.
years ago was way better.
Yeah. The crowd straight up ruined it. But
And that's an indoor stadium too.
the matches themselves were fantastic. Other than obviously the last one. But I just TKO and the fact that they're UFC and how incredibly expensive UFC has always been, because that's always been a UFC thing. You ever wanted to go to like a UFC show in Vegas, you were spending a ton of money because that's where all the celebrities were. That's where all this stuff was. Do they not realize that that's not what wrestling is? Like, I hate to say this, but AEW has a chance here to do something phenomenal. And do I trust them to do it? No, but
No.
they could get such a huge share of the market here.
Yeah, because WWE is completely unaffordable.
Yep.
Completely unaffordable. The average fan, and I don't want to put down wrestling fans because I'm a wrestling fan, but like your average wrestling fan is not wealthy.
No,
And and I don't mean that disrespectfully, but like you're not you're not selling to the person who wants to go to a WWE show, they're not going to go for thousands of dollars. They're not going to go.
nope.
Like when Raw was in Buffalo the last time it was here, I think we skipped that one, didn't we? Because of how much it was to go to
Yep.
it. Like the upper bowl here in Buffalo, for those of you who aren't from Buffalo, they usually do it at our hockey stadium where the Sabres play. And like the upper bowl was upwards of $200 to go to
Which
just
is
an episode of Monday Night Raw, which like a couple of years ago when you and I went, we sat in like the lower bowl and we paid like $80.
That's what I was just about to say. The last time we went with your little cousins, it was we sat in the 200 level, which is the fancy level, and we paid less than it would have cost to sit in what is the equivalent of the nosebleeds nowadays.
Yeah, I remember that. We bought I think 5 tickets for you, me, my brother, and my nephew, and I think maybe Terrence or somebody else.
Terrence was it, yes.
I forget. And I think it was like $300 for 5 tickets.
Yep.
Now you can get one and a half tickets for that much money. It's insane. It's not right. It's not right. And I think they've got a real problem. And I think eventually, to your point, something's gonna have to change because they are eventually going to price people out.
I mean,
They're
they're
gonna
already
eventually,
damn close to it.
yeah, they're eventually not going to be able to sell these things out anymore because people are going to get sick of it.
I mean, I think the last PLE that I went to was when you and I went to SummerSlam, and that was years ago.
In Toronto, and I don't even think we paid $100 for those tickets.
No, I mean,
And
yeah,
that
we went the day of, but
no, but and that's Toronto, and that's SummerSlam, and I still don't think it was that much.
nope.
And that was 2019.
Yeah,
So I don't know, man. I don't know where they go from here, but they need to do something, and I think they need to do it quickly. So yeah, so that was Friday Night SmackDown. Any final thoughts as we head towards WrestlePalooza?
Wrestlepalooza itself, I am looking forward to quite a bit. I think that multiple matches on that show could be considered main event worthy. I mean, across the board, it's probably going to be, honestly, it is probably going to be one of their best booked second tier shows ever. And that withstanding, SmackDown hasn't been doing much to help it other than saying, oh, this is what the match is going to be. Because the shows themselves, like you said, the last month and a half, probably since Evolution, maybe right before, have just been kind of feel like going through the motions. Nothing really super worth tuning into. And WWE needs to change that. Like, otherwise, I mean, especially now that the football season's here, like, they need to be able to get their viewers while they can. Because Monday Night Football starts and their viewership, even on Netflix on Monday, is going to drop.
The ratings are
And
going to take
so,
a different part. Yeah,
yeah,
that
so
college football and yeah. Hmm.
they need to be putting on a better product if they want to do halfway decent for the next 4 to 5 months. And
Yeah,
as of right now, they're not.
yeah, for sure. Completely agree. So that was our recap, guys. And let us know what you guys think in the comments down below. Is the Saudi deal a good one? How are you feeling about SmackDown? You kind of feel as negative as we do about it, unfortunately. Um, that was our show. If you guys have any comments, let us know down below. As always, smash that like and subscribe button. We appreciate it. And we will talk soon. Have yourselves a fantastic evening and take care.